Hello, hello. I'm going to take you through an upper body workout today, and we're going to start by talking a little bit about shoulder health. The shoulder joints are very multidimensional joints, small muscles, lots of muscles. They play a really important structural role in the upper body. So we want to make sure that we take good care of them. A lot of people struggle with the shoulders from time to time, so there's a lot of good exercises that we can use for warm-ups or for daily exercises just to protect the structural integrity of the shoulder and keep you from having unnecessary wear and tear over time. So for this workout in general, you want a nice light pair of weights if you have it, particularly for the warm-up and doing some of the shoulder stuff. And then like a mid-size set of weights for some actual shoulder strength exercises that we're going to do. So something around 6 or 8 pounds, depending on your strength, and maybe lighter than that. And then something heavier for some bigger muscle upper body strengthening that we're going to do as well. So to warm up, a really easy good exercise that you can do is just to take a nice light weight. This is 4 pounds, and then you're just going to tip at the hips a little bit, and you're just going to do some nice easy circles here. Just super easy. Everything doesn't have to hurt when you work out, especially when you're warming up. So a little shoulder rotation, and then switch directions and go around. So just doing that 8 to 10 times on both arms is going to be good. From there, we're going to take it into a lateral raise. So you're just going to hold those heavy weights, and you're just going to lift up and out. So you want to always keep your shoulders away from your ears so you have a lot of space in your neck. And when we're lifting, we don't want to come any higher than shoulder height. From there, you can take it into a shoulder circle where you're coming forward and then circling out to the side and down. Just nice and easy. There really should not be any strain or struggle when you're doing this. You might hear your shoulders cracking a little bit. Shouldn't be too much to be concerned about unless you're feeling pain associated with that. And then you can reverse the direction and come out and then circle back to the front. So the other thing you should notice in all of this is that the shoulder blades are staying pretty stable on the back. So they shouldn't be coming up and out of the back. That is a sign of bad posture and stabilization in the upper body. And so that's why we want to really work to build good even strength in the chest to the back, so we can keep the shoulders strong and in the correct position, and that one weak side is not pulling on the other side. Okay, so those little circles there are great to do. You can just do one set of all of those about 8 to 10 times, or even 6 times is going to be ample. We just want to get things warmed up in this area for the rest of the upper body work that we'll do. One thing you can do just to warm up the rest of the body, add a little bit more heat, is then just some alternating lunges with a little bit of a rotation towards the front knee. So just step and bend, draw back, pushing off the heel, and you're just rotating as you go. Okay? So from there, we're going to take it into some shoulder height for your first upper body strength round. So you're going to be doing 3 exercises. Depending on how much time you want to spend working out today, you can do 3 to 4 sets in about 10 reps. So we're going to go with those light to moderate weights depending on where you're at. I'm going to use some 8-pound weights, and we're going to start with the reverse fly. So here you're going to tip at the hips, your back is going to stay nice and straight, and then you're just going to lift up and back. So targeting that rear shoulder, the upper back, a little bit of the mid back, but notice how steady my body is staying. So you can work through up to 10 reps for that, maybe a little bit less if your form starts to break around 6 reps. That's where you're going to want to stop. Otherwise, you'll want to lighten up the weight. So you want to work through all sets before moving on, and then the next one is the overhead press. So if you had any funkiness going on in your neck or you know, whatnot, you're gonna wanna avoid the overhead press. You can omit this. If you are otherwise healthy in the neck, then we'll go with some overhead presses. If your low back's feeling sensitive, you can always do these in a nice seated position, supporting your back. Otherwise, I recommend a split stance with the feet. That helps keep your posture tall. You're gonna bring the weights up at about cheek level, and you're just gonna press up and draw it back down to cheek level. Okay, so we don't wanna be coming all the way down here like this. We want up, we wanna keep the arms firing the whole time. All right, so overhead presses. So from there, we're gonna take it to a lateral raise with a rotation. This is one where you might wanna go lighter. You're gonna laterally lift the weights as you turn the torso. Control back to the center and then go the other way. Okay, this is gonna get heavy quick. And you notice that my arms don't come above shoulder height, and you shouldn't be firing the muscles in the neck too much, okay? So you wanna be mindful of what you're feeling in that area. So that is the shoulder series. From there, so you wanna do all three of those exercises 3 to 4 times, depending on what you have time for. And then from there, we're gonna move into some bigger muscle pulling based exercises. So you're gonna wanna go with a heavier weight. We're gonna work on that plank row. You might be seasoned at this and not need this part of the video, but what you wanna do is come into a nice high plank position. You can either do each hand on a weight, or you can just use one weight and kind of pass it back and forth. But you're gonna row up, down, and then go to the other arm up and down. So you wanna minimize rotation in the hips. So the wider your feet are, the easier that's gonna be. The closer your feet are, the more you're gonna have to work to resist that rotation. All right, so just back and forth. Again, we're working on 8 to 10 reps. So for the plank row, that's 8 to 10 reps on each arm, totaling anywhere between 16 and 20. From there, we're gonna take it to a chest fly. So you're gonna lie in a supine position on a bench or the floor. Connect in with your core so your body stays nice and solid on the bench as we pull our arms out and then back in. So you wanna keep your arms pretty straight, okay? If you keep too much of a bend in them, it's really not a fly. It turns into a press. All right, so out and in. If you're doing this on the floor, you get some good protection for the shoulder with the range of motion that your elbows aren't gonna go too far down. If you're doing it on a bench, you wanna be mindful that you keep your arms level with the bench when you draw the weights out. So from there, we're gonna go to a pullover. So we're gonna just use one of the heavy weights. And depending on your fitness, you might be able to go even heavier than this one weight. So you can perhaps have an additional weight. But again, you really wanna stabilize yourself on the bench even more than you did for the chest fly. And then from there, you're just gonna draw straight over and then pull back over your chest. Okay, so when you draw your arms over your head, you want to be able to continue to see your arms out of your peripheral vision. All right. And release. So that is the second set of strength exercises. You're going to work on those 3 in a solo fashion, getting those 3 to 4 sets in, 8 to 10 reps. From there, we're gonna take it into some upper body pushing based exercises, starting with the chest press. So go with the heavy weight that you can do without pain or compensation, and then it's down and it's up. Okay, so if you've got any funkiness going on in the shoulders, you wanna be mindful about the range of motion. If you have completely healthy shoulders, you can challenge that range of motion so you can continue to keep that range of motion as you go through life. If we make our movements too short, our body's going to adjust to that. All right? Awesome. From there, we're going to take it into the bent over dead row, which is actually a pulling exercise, but we want to hit the back side of the body again. And you just pull and gently release. Resist as you release, so you're keeping the tension on the muscles. All right? And then we finish up with the close press. So we just adjust the hand position for this, and the arms come a little bit more down to the side instead of away. Awesome. So there it is. So those are your exercises. There's 9 strength training exercises to work through, and then you have your nice little warm-up. And again, whatever time you want to take for your workout when you do this, just make it fit into your schedule and just do the exercises really well. Enjoy.